That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
Darkness rises, and light to meet it.
All right, so the big movie of December is here. Star Wars The Last Jedi. I got myself ready. I got the cup. I got the fancy scarf, reversible. And this is the non-spoiler version of Star Wars The Last Jedi. You're gonna hear fanboys and girls try to either really love it or really hate it. And quite frankly, this is where I kind of withdraw myself from fandom, because fans love to bitch. And this is coming from a movie reviewer who plays a bitchy movie reviewer in Anthonyx Maximus. Now, here's my take on it. I liked it. I really did. I loved it. Now, I understand Star Wars is usually shaky about movies. The prequels really didn't help much. I was one of the few that actually liked Star Wars The Force Awakens. Yeah, it's too much like A New Hope, almost to the point where it's just play-by-play like A New Hope. I let that go just because it cleaned the taste of the prequels out of my mouth, but also history has a way of repeating itself. So yeah, why wouldn't the same thing happen? And we're also just trying to get back into the nostalgia of Star Wars for the new audience. But yeah, I will agree that too much of it was borrowed from A New Hope. This movie, on the other hand, it actually is more original. Of course, there are many elements where it's taken from The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, but it's actually wiped out real quick so they can make room for more of an original story. Everyone was great. If they impressed you the first time in Force Awakens, then you're gonna love them in this movie. The Porgs were adorable. Now, the Porgs, they're like little birds but with regular faces. That's the best way I can describe it. And everyone thought they would be annoying, but they're actually really adorable. And they're not in your face, you know. They're not like the Ewoks or the Gungans. They're fine. They're fine. They're welcome. It was just nice to see original creatures. Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill. No, this isn't a bad critique on him. It's just an observation that I have. Yeah, he's first known as Luke Skywalker, like Mark Hamill. We know him originally as Luke Skywalker, but I think he's made more of a name for himself over the years by simply voicing the Joker in many Batman cartoons. To the point where I think it's become him now. When he speaks, I no longer hear Luke Skywalker. I hear the Joker speaking. That's more of an issue of fandom than the actor himself. Carrie Fisher, this was her last movie, and not a bad way to go. The movie was actually a high note for her. There was a scene in it that kind of was dumb, but I think that was the only way we were going to see her excel. Kylo Ren is a bit more comedic, but still pretty badass, and you kind of feel bad for him, but not all the way, just because he is Kylo Ren. Kind of like the same way they make you try to feel bad for Darth Vader in the original trilogy, but the man had his hands in on killing billions of people, so you can only feel so bad for so long for someone. We're introduced to new characters like Rose. She's an adorable actress who also contributes. And then there's a new character. I think this is where I don't want to say his name because it's spoiler territory. It's nothing from the Star Wars universe, but it's an actor. If you thought Finn was kind of annoying and whiny in Force Awakens, I think he's improved and grown a little bit in this movie. Even though, by the way, The Last Jedi takes place immediately right after Force Unawakens. Not like months have passed or anything. It literally starts from where the other movie ended. Snoke is pretty intimidating, but more in a mentally abusive kind of way. All in all, the movie is fantastic. I will go with it. You'll hear the fanboys and girls cry, but you know, they're complaining about stuff about the movie that negates everything they complained about in the last movie. They complained about how the last movie wasn't original. This time they're complaining that it's nothing like the other Star Wars movies. What do you want, guys? My only complaint, because I can watch this movie over and over again, in fact I'll probably end up going to the theater again and seeing it, is that the ending just goes on forever. When you think the movie is done, when you think it's going to wrap up, it doesn't. It goes on. It does that for like 20 minutes. It's kind of like the ending of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It just doesn't end. Well, eventually it ends. I mean, I'm here right now, aren't I? Or even AI, where you think it's one ending, but nope, it's a different ending. But that's not really the ending. It's another ending. That's what happens in this movie. You're going to love the twists and turns of the film. This is why I'm giving this spoiler-free version, the non-spoiler, because I actually do want you to go see the movie. Not grading movies anymore because, let's just say I'd be a terrible professor at a college. I really would be. Every dumb kid would actually have a passing grade. So I'm going to say I love the movie. The movie is fantastic. That's the word I'm going with. Fantastic. Coming up next is the spoiler version of Star Wars Last Jedi. So if you have seen the movie, listen to me get into a bit more detail about it. Otherwise, go see the movie. And I'll be taking a bit of a break afterwards. Not from Anthonix Maximus, because I'm still putting together some ideas and hopefully another review for Christmas. If not, happy holidays.